Okay, your bell ringer for today is to punctuate the 4 titles that are shown on this slide. You have 2 books, To Kill a Mockingbird and The Pearl, and 2 short stories, A Good Man is Hard to Find and The Most Dangerous Game. After you've worked independently to punctuate those titles of novels, a novella, and 2 short stories, talk to some other people in class and just discuss briefly how they punctuated those things. To come to a group consensus about how they should be punctuated, and we'll talk about those at the beginning of class tomorrow. Pause this slide if you need more time here. Okay, so we're going to return to our rhetoric notes from yesterday. In your notes somewhere, in your dual notes or your linear notes, I want you to create the rhetorical triangle. The rhetorical triangle is it's the 3 pieces that work together constantly, that are constant in any kind of text. So you have the text itself, you have the reader or the audience, and you have the speaker or the writer. All 3 of those things are working at the same time in tangent to influence the writing. Okay, so some questions that we need to ask ourselves about each of the pieces of the rhetorical triangle as we are diving into rhetorical analysis. The speaker writer, is the writer credible? Is she an authority? And does her character reinforce her message? Those are just some of the questions that we're going to ask ourselves when we're thinking about the speaker or the writer in the rhetorical triangle. We're going to ask ourselves about the reader or the audience. Who's the audience? Who's this piece directed at? What matters most to them? How will the writer connect with them? And what appeals can you use to make your message personally significant to them? And the text itself, what's the message of the text? How is it developed? Is the evidence convincing? Is it logical? Does the message stand on its own? Or does it need some other kind of support for it to make sense, for it to be persuasive, or does it stand on its own? So those 3 pieces of the rhetorical triangle are going to be working constantly together to create the message of the piece. Okay, so each of those pieces of the triangle matches up with a different rhetorical appeal. And I think you guys talked about rhetorical appeals in speech, but we're going to dive in deeply with these 3 rhetorical appeals over the next couple of days. With the rest of class, I want you to divide into 3 small groups. Your group should be evenly balanced in number. Each group is going to choose one appeal to research. On Monday, be prepared to teach your appeal to the class and provide a text example that uses the appeal as part of your instruction. You'll have some time to work tomorrow, but tomorrow, remember, is an early dismissal schedule, and some people are in lots of other places tomorrow during class time as well. The text that you use should be a written text, so something for us to read, a newspaper article, a journal article, magazine article, something like that. So when you're thinking of text, let's go with words on the page for this particular text. So each group chooses one of the different rhetorical appeals. They're evenly balanced. You're researching and teaching the class on Monday. And in your instruction, you're providing an example. Have a great time today, guys. See you on Friday.